And joining me right now, a special interview, Colony NorthStar Executive Chairman Thomas Barrack Jr. is with me. And Tom, it's great to have you on the program this morning.
Thanks, Maria. Great to be here.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now, I know that you are longtime friends. You've been an advisor to President Trump. Do you think tax reform can get passed, even though we've got all of these fights happening?
Absolutely. I think it's a necessity for everybody. You know, what we've witnessed is not a misfire by President Trump. It's boys playing badly in the sandbox. And for midterm elections, everybody just has to get on with business and do the right thing. And I think tax reform is the key to corporate restructuring an organization of capital expenditure investment, and a couple $100 more in the average American's pocket is going to be meaningful. So they have to get it done.
So you think this will move the needle on economic growth? You think that it will do what the president is hoping it will do in terms of create jobs?
Absolutely. I mean, growth and production are the only two components that can move the needle. So growth is very difficult in an environment like this, so increased production is the answer, and increased investment to get to that production is a necessity.
So when the senators arrived for their weekly policy lunch yesterday with the president, some of the senators apparently were ready for a show. Watch this, got to get your reaction.
Do you envision any problems at this luncheon where the president will be there, Senator Corker?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to bring some popcorn, but it'll be interesting to watch.
Then Senator Tom Tillis tweeted out this photo as well. According to reports, there were not any fireworks at that meeting. So how would you recommend, how do you advise the president here that he proceed with these senators, especially Flake and Corker, while, you know, he's trying to get things done and needs their votes?
Well, I think he's proceeding with his team. He has two of the best individuals capable of monitoring this, and Secretary Mnuchin, who you're going to talk to this afternoon, and Gary Cohn. So the machinery is working, and these politicians know that it's a necessity for them on behalf of their constituencies to get something done and to stop bickering. And nobody toys with President Trump. He's very well equipped to handle himself in these battles, and I think it'll get done, and it'll get done well.
So you don't think this pushback on the state and local tax deduction is going to get in the way of passage? A lot of people, like a Peter King, like, you know, other New Jersey and New York senators, congressmen rather, are saying, look, we can't vote for this because my constituents are going to get a tax increase.
Well, you're going to have concessions everywhere, and when you think about it, that's actually an easy thing to give away if you had to. So at the end of the day, the consensus of what gets done will be a blend of those things, but it'll happen in the last day.
Tom, let me ask you about the news of the day. Even the Washington Post is reporting this morning, which, of course, they are hard-pressed to report anything against the Clinton campaign. But Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee helped fund research that resulted in that now infamous dossier with allegations about President Trump's connections to Russia, according to sources familiar with the matter. What did you make of that?
Well, what I make of it is the same issues that have alienated America to drive them to elect President Trump. Everybody's just fed up with it all. It's not one side or the other. We're ready for something else. President Trump has been that. I think that's all there is to say about it.
You're right. You know what? People wanted a shakeup.
Totally.
And that's why President Trump was voted into office, because they're sick and tired of just not understanding where the fairness is.
Because there is no fairness.
Right. Yeah. All right, let me turn to Colony. Obviously, one of the biggest names in Hollywood, Harvey Weinstein. We've been talking about the terrible situation for the women. More than a half a dozen women have now accused Weinstein of sexual assault. More than 50 women have publicly detailed a range of inappropriate behavior by the movie mogul over decades, by the way. It has been reported that your private equity arm of the company, Colony Capital, may be part or may want to buy part or all of the Weinstein Company. Where does that stand right now, Tom?
Well, we've looked at, if you remember, we owned Miramax, and Miramax was a Weinstein creation that Disney had owned for almost a decade. And we bought Miramax from Disney, and it was a great investment for us. The Weinstein Company has some of the same elements. It has a video library, it has a TV production group, and it has a lot of great people who work within it. The Weinstein name is finished. Harvey's actions, regardless of what, are unacceptable, inappropriate, and despicable. And the company needed a capital gauge, a plug, to stop the bleeding while you could evaluate what's left of the pieces to salvage. And that's what we've been doing. It's still a question as to whether we'll be successful or not, but it's not a resuscitation of the Weinsteins. It's trying to salvage the pieces of the company so the creative talent and the production group can go forward.
Because they're good assets. They're very good assets, right?
Great assets. I mean, regardless of what else, one of the great independent filmmaking companies ever in history was at the hands of the Weinsteins. That's the good news and that's the bad news. So at an era where content is everything and the digital era is making content even more valuable, that library, harvested correctly, can be of great value. It's separating the liabilities and the toxicity of what happened from the good people and the good product that's within the company, and that's sometimes an art form, not a science.
The negotiation right now, is it over price?
No, it's over what it is.
What it is, yeah. Because you just said a minute ago, you know, Weinstein name is done. I mean, how can you go on with after what has happened? Yeah, it's incredible.
You can't.
Tom, good to have you on the program.
Thanks.
Tom Barrack.